How to sexually satisfy your wife. Every man needs this. Share it with your guy friends, because I'm gonna knock your socks off on how to satisfy a woman, and it's gonna be stuff you've never heard before. So please stay with us. If you haven't subscribed to our channels, we have so much helpful information. Please do that. If you have a question about this, put it in the box. We'll be happy to get back to you, so stay with us. How to sexually satisfy your wife. I want every man to know how to do this. But let's start off with they're different than you, huh? They don't think about sex. They think about being made love to. Okay? They don't think about sex being a singular event isolated from the rest of their life like you can. You can have a totally bad day with your wife and want to make love to her. I get it. I'm a guy, right? But they don't think that way. And if you're married more than a day, you get they have a totally different operating system than you. And learning that is like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 decades long. So I want to give you kind of a, the cliff notes on this, all right? So let's start outside the bedroom, then inside the bedroom. Outside the bedroom, the things that are really important. Number 1, keep your word. If you say you're going to do something, do it, because that makes them trust you. Trust is important for sex. Not for you, for them. So if you say you're going to be somewhere, be somewhere. If you say you're going to pick up the kids, pick up the kids. If you say you're going to help clean the house, clean the house. Okay? Number 2, do not lie to a woman. Lying violates them, even a small one. So if you're lying, stop that, or just say, hey, I'm sorry, that was a lie, and clean it up. Within 24 hours, you got a window to clean it up. After that, you become a liar. That affects her sexual desire for you and her respect for you. She has to respect you to desire you. And this is where a lot of guys kind of falter. If you have addictions, alcohol, drugs, sex, food, work, you are immature spiritually, emotionally. That is unsexy, okay? She feels like she's raising another teenager, and she is. You want to deal with your addictions so that you are more mature. Now, these are some of the things that are outside the bedroom, but let's get into the bedroom. Your wife has a sexual expression that is generally different than yours, okay? I have a great book called Upgrade Your Sex Life, and men, you need to get this. Watch the video with her so that she can tell you what sexual expression she is, whether it's fun, desire, pleasure, patience, or acceptance and celebration. She'll fit into one of these categories. Now, the great thing about this is you can actually learn how she operates sexually. Now, I'm not talking about learning 50 positions. I'm talking about how to get her to want to be sexual with you, how to get her needs met during sex. You can blow your wife's mind out and her heart out during sex if you know what to say. Now, before we get to that, let me give you some basic principles about sexuality from a relationship perspective. Now, if you're struggling with pornography, you're not going to get some of this stuff because you're conditioned to a world that where you're God, they do whatever you want, you can throw them away when you want to, they have no needs, and you can bring that into your marriage. Now, I've been sober from sexual addiction and pornography for over 36 years. If you have an issue with that, you have to address it. It's affecting your sexuality. Go to sexaddict.com, sexaddict.com. There's a free test there. There's lots of resources. You want to clean it up, because if she feels like she's competing with that, she's not into you. Okay, she doesn't feel the exclusivity that when you married her, you said you would forsake all others. That means the people in porn too, to her. To you, you separate that. To her, that's infidelity, that's cheating, and you're gonna really hurt her if she finds that stuff out, for sure, okay? And if you have a secret world, you wanna tell somebody so you can heal. Another subject altogether, we have lots of videos on that, 6 types of sex addicts, etc. Now, inside the bedroom, let me give you some basic principles. Eyes open. Look at your wife during sex. Don't close your eyes because she thinks you're fantasizing, she thinks you're somewhere else. Look at her, bond to her. When you have a sexual release, you literally attach to what you look at. If you're imagining about her in some other position or a past encounter or someone else or pornography, you're gluing to that using her body. She feels that violation. She feels alone. It's not going to make her happy. That's called negative reinforcement. So if you want to teach your wife not to want sex, close your eyes. Okay. Number two, have some kind of light on. Okay. And you might need to communicate with her or have her watch my counter to this, How to Sexually Satisfy Your Husband, so she understands why light is important, so that you attach to her beauty and who she is. Number three, nurturing conversation. Now, guys, I am not talking about dirty talk. I'm talking about talking to her as a person. She doesn't want to feel like a sex toy if she's healthy. She wants to feel like the woman that you adore, the woman that you love, the woman that you want, the woman you can't be without, okay? And depending on her sexual expression, dirty talk could shut her down. And then she won't orgasm, she won't participate, she's not going to be into that, and you're going to get less sex. I'm trying to teach you how to get best and more. But you don't get to do it the way you think, because you come from a different sexual expression than she does. And that's where the disconnect is often at. Now, I'll deal with some variables in a minute. What you want to do is learn her sexual expression. So watch the video, find out which one she is. Now, the beauty about that is, in that material, I tell you what you need to say outside the bedroom to make her feel aroused, what you say in inviting her to sexuality, which will make her want to be more sexual because that's her language that you're speaking. You know, baby, I want to spend quality time with you. I want to take you upstairs, slowly take your clothes off. I want to touch you for 20 or 30 minutes. And then I would like to make love to you. Is different than, hey, do you want to get some? Right? Like that, it doesn't wash if that's her sexual expression. Okay? Then what she needs to hear during sex, what she needs to hear after sex. Once you become an expert in her language, you can satiate her. Because for women, sex isn't about just an orgasm. It's feeling connected to you. Okay? For us, it's about getting an orgasm. For them, it's about connecting to you. If they do that and they get aroused, then they want to have orgasms. Now, it's not about how fast you thrust them. Okay, most women, it's their clitoris, it's not their vagina. Okay, you need to get information about that. Okay, some women need to be multi-stimulated, whether the breast and clitoris at the same time. You need to discover that with her. She can tell you that roadmap, and she wants to tell it to you if she feels safe with you. Now, outside the bedroom, okay, if you're not providing intimacy, she's not going to want to be sexual with you. All right, so let me give you a hint on that. It's in the material. You want to share 2 feelings a day with her. You say, Dr. Weiss, I'm not good at that. Well, you're not good at anything you don't practice. Okay, I mean, I've done feelings for over 30 years. Women want to hear your feelings and they want you to hear their feelings. Now, if you want better sex, it takes more than just combing your hair. Okay, you could have a 6-pack and she could be disgusted by you because she doesn't have your heart. 2 feelings a day, 2 praises towards her a day, and she gives 2 to you. Wouldn't that be nice to hear 2 praises from your wife every day? And pray with her or some kind of spiritual activity. Making the relationship feel more holistic to her makes her feel safer, wanted, heard, and more able to desire sex because her other needs are being met. Now, you don't want her to hold out sex until you get those needs met. You want to proactively meet those needs. And if you're being proactive, you're not going to have to beg. And in the material, we talk about setting up a sexual agreement, how often we want to have sex, having both of you initiate. You might be in a situation where she never initiates. Well, have her watch How to Satisfy Your Husband, or get the material because it's really important, and I communicate clearly how important you being initiated toward is. All right? But you want to do your part. Now, if you or your spouse has sexual abuse, sexual addiction, porn addiction, there's been infidelity or trauma, that person's going to need some healing and probably some counseling and walk through that. Now, it doesn't have to stay this big issue. It can be resolved if they're willing to go get help. And this is important. Now, there is one thing that if this is happening in your marriage, no matter what you do, it seems like you're not going to get sex. Okay? I'm going to describe something I call intimacy anorexia. And if your wife is struggling with this, or if you are struggling with this, you're definitely setting up an environment where she's not going to want to have sex with you. So you can go to intimacyanorexia.com for more information, but let me give you the basics. Intimacy anorexia is the active withholding of spiritual, emotional, and sexual intimacy with your spouse. Here's the characteristics. So on your hand, just go like this every time you get a yes answer. Your wife is too busy for you. She's not too busy for the kids, the neighbors, but she's too busy for you. She blames you for all the problems in the relationship. She can't ever say I'm wrong or I'm sorry or that she's the problem. She withholds love, especially the way you want it. If you want to be touched, you're not touched, okay? She withholds praise, okay? She'll praise you publicly, but not at home. She withholds spiritually. She withholds sex, or she's disconnected during sex. She just lets you have sex and she doesn't make love to you, okay? As a way to negatively reinforce you on purpose. She is unwilling or unable to share feelings with you. She uses anger or silence as a way to control you. Sometimes she controls around money, but you feel like a roommate. You feel alone in the relationship. She'll have ongoing or ungrounded criticism of you. Now, if you've got more than 5 of these, you're living with intimacy anorexia. And no matter what you do, the game is set up so that you don't get intimacy or healthy sexuality. And she will need to get help with that. We have a Married and Alone Facebook group for men. You can call our office. Our counselors understand the married and alone man. If that's you, you definitely want help with that. But I want to encourage you to do some of these things I talked about. Definitely upgrade your sex life is a win for you to do it together. It's very back and forth as far as being very practical with both of you. And it can really give you a language to start having these conversations. That's one of the most common feedbacks we get from this is it opened us to start talking about it. And if you can't talk about it, you can't change or heal it. So that's a great start. So I encourage you to do that. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do. And if you have a question about this, put it in the box. And if you practice some of this, thumbs up to you. Have a great sex life.